You meet someone new, smart, confident, socially aware, and then they say it. Oh, I'm not on Instagram or TikTok or Twitter. I just don't use social media. Your first instinct? Something between impressed and suspicious. Because in 2026, opting out of social media isn't just a lifestyle choice, it's a statement, conscious or not. We live in a world where your online presence is your identity. Your profile is how people find you, judge you, remember you. So when someone removes themselves from that entirely, what are they actually telling you? Psychology suggests this is rarely random.
Most people frame this as a privacy thing, a productivity thing, maybe even a mental health thing. And sure, on the surface, it looks like someone just, deleted an app. But here's where it gets interesting. Psychologists who study digital behavior have found that how and why someone disengages from social media reveals something much deeper about how they manage identity, validation, perception, and control. It's not about the platform, it's about what the platform represents to them. There are 5 psychological patterns behind this behavior, and at least one of them will make you rethink someone you know. The first one is perception control. Social media at its core is a performance stage. Every post is a curated version of yourself and what you want people to see, feel, and believe about you. People who opt out have a very high need for authenticity, not because they are hiding something, but because they are deeply uncomfortable with the distortion. They don't want a highlight reel version of themselves floating around the internet permanently for strangers to judge. What's unsettling? This same instinct for control over perception can mean they are highly selective about who gets access to the real them in every area of life. They are not antisocial, they are anti-performance. The second reason, internal validation. This is often misunderstood. Social media is a feedback machine. Every like, comment, and share is a microdose of external validation. Over time, your sense of self becomes tied to that feedback loop. People who abandon the platform often have or are actively building a stronger internal validation system. They don't need the numbers to feel real. But here is the darker implication. Some of them remove themselves because they discover how easily the numbers were breaking them. And that realization scared them. They didn't quit because they were strong. They quit because they were self-aware enough to recognize their weakness. The third reason, social comparison immunity. Social comparison theory tells us that humans naturally measure themselves against others. It's wired in. Social media just turbocharges that, giving you an infinite feed of people doing more, earning more, and looking better than you. People who opt out often have a heightened awareness of this mechanism. They clocked how comparison quietly erodes contentment, and they've chosen to remove the trigger entirely. What most people don't realize is that this isn't always peace. It's most times a deliberate act of psychological self-defense. They are not unbothered. They've just built a wall around what bothers them. The third reason, identity independence. And here is a question worth sitting with. If your Instagram disappeared tomorrow, would you still know who you are? For many people, their social media profile has become a core part of how they define themselves. Remove it, and there's a kind of identity vacuum. People who don't use social media have often constructed their identity entirely off platforms, through lived experience, private relationships, and internal beliefs. That sounds admirable, because sometimes it is healthy, but it can also signal someone who is fundamentally uncomfortable being known by the world, not private, guarded. The absence of a digital identity isn't emptiness. It's a choice about who gets to see them. Number 5, cognitive depth. Research consistently links heavy social media use to shortened attention spans, increased anxiety, and fragmented thinking. People who opt out often report something different. Longer focus window, deeper thinking, a greater tolerance for silence and solitude. Psychologists call this attention autonomy. The ability to direct your own mental bandwidth without algorithmic interference. The uncomfortable truth, most of us have quietly outsourced our attention to platforms that monetize it. These people haven't. They are not smarter, they've just refused to let their brain be a product. Most people assume someone without social media is antisocial. closed off, maybe even strange, but it often means the opposite. They tend to invest more deeply in the relationships they do have. They are present in conversations. They remember your birthday because they actually know you. And what looks like absence is often a form of radical presence. They've drawn a hard boundary between who they are and how they appear. Sometimes what we don't see in people says more about them than what we see. This is red flag theory. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.